end of my street had been barricaded, and there were helicopters all everywhere and neighbors lined across. I mean, it's like something from a movie. I couldn't even believe what I was driving up to. I literally just stopped my car in the middle of the street and ran to a police officer that was standing there blocking the street. I was like, this is my house, and my children are there, and I need to get there immediately.
She is just absolutely beside herself, terrorized, thinking someone has been to her home and basically wiped out her entire family. We ended up, stopping her before she ran up to the house.
I remember feeling like I just want my kids. I want my kids in my hands right now.
After about a half hour or so, some things just weren't adding up. By this time, the media had already picked it up.
And then all of a sudden, a nanny comes out, and she's got two, basically, naked children soaking wet because they were taking a bath at the time.
Our patrol guys go in and they clear the whole house. We come back out and it's like, hey man, nothing's going on in here. This is a hoax. Their main goal is to try to elicit a large law enforcement response, because even after it's done, they can come back and say to the person, hey, I reached out and got you today, I'll do it again to you tomorrow, don't mess with me.
Traditionally, the online world from the very beginning, and the world of games, was a boys' club. And I think that combination of locker room, anything goes, boys' club mores in the online world, combined with this nobody knows your name, you can be anonymous in a certain sense, you're not anonymous, but you are, that characterizes cyberbullying.
It's just a sick game. It's a kind of a retaliatory action. I'm not sure exactly what causes it to reach to a level of where you get swatted, but that was my understanding.
It angers you to know that somebody did this as a joke and that there's somewhere they're laughing about that and they thought that that was funny. There's no accountability. It's like a wild, wild west on the internet, and every now and then a marshal will ride through town and bring some law and order, but then he leaves and everything goes right back to the same way it was.
It can seem chaotic and lawless, but we can't really blame the internet for the malicious behavior of its users.
That's the thing, we brought with us all of our social values onto the internet. It's not that the internet changed our social values, it reflects them.
The global internet is so infinitely accessible, bad actors can show up anywhere. As for the technology itself, it's always been content neutral.
The network never knew anything about what was being carried. Sort of like cars going down the road, you don't know what's inside. All you know is there's a road and a car and somebody driving.
Check out this new app. It's called Invisible Girlfriend, and it allows you to build your ideal partner virtually.
As the site says, it offers social proof. Like if you're not in a relationship, but you want people to think you are.
Now, don't get the wrong idea. I am very happy with my actual real-life girlfriend, but I thought I should investigate this to see what the future may hold. So first, you set up your own profile, and then you get to pick her traits. Her name? Let's go with Katie. Now, what is she like? Personality traits. How about lovingly nerdy? And what sort of stuff is she into? Ooh, chess. No, on second thought, no, let's not do chess. How about fashion? Yeah. Ooh, cooking. Yeah, that's a good one. And sports. Where do we meet? Camping. No. At the theater. You just finish it up here, and that's it. I now have an invisible girlfriend. Oh, look who it is. My new invisible girlfriend, Katie.
Why would someone need a fake girlfriend? People aren't getting their emotional needs met online. They can find experiences elsewhere, but you may not get emotional support. There's this real lack of empathy in the world.
Meet the inventors of Invisible Girlfriend.
This all started out as a crazy idea at a hackathon. It was a throwaway idea. He thought it was stupid. We formed a team, thought it would be fun to work on. What we wanted to do is just see if can we build something in a weekend. How soon could we get that working?
Always that question.
The challenge was, how do we actually create a fake girlfriend or boyfriend? Starting out with a chatbot and then ended up going to real humans because chatbots just don't work. So we built a very, very simple service.
That simple service took off.
Okay, ready?
Let's do it. Refresh.
3, 2, 1. Ah!
200,010.
Wow.
That is awesome.
Hundreds of thousands of people have signed up.
Oh, you're too sweet to me. What are you planning on buying me? Wink face. Of course, I want to go out. I miss you so much.
Meet an Invisible Girlfriend. She's a text writer for hire, and she does her best to make a virtual romance feel real. Actually, several at once.
I'm usually jumping between a few conversations. Have you seen those videos of those parents that put toothpaste in Oreos and give them to their kids? This user says, "Where do you want to go to dinner tonight?" And he says, "When are we getting married?"
In a lot of ways, for the user, it is a real relationship. But some of them don't realize that they're talking to more than one person.
It's true. The next text I get from Katie could actually be written by a completely different person.
I like being the boyfriend because, like, I know what women want because I am a woman. So, like, I know what a woman wants to hear, but I'm not necessarily sure that they'd be happy to know that I was a girl.
Sometimes these quote-unquote relationships become a little complicated.
Sometimes the users will try to take it to a sexting level and you really have to deter them, but that doesn't happen very often. I think they just want someone to be kind to them. The user said, "What I bought is a surprise, but I'll give it to you tonight when I pick you up for dinner. I love you, baby." And I said, "I can't wait. I love you too, darling. You're too good to me. How do I deserve you?"
The creators of Invisible Girlfriend never expected it would become so meaningful to both parties.
We've been really intrigued by how you can have a deep connection with just messaging alone. In the future, I think it's going to become normal to engage with characters that may not exist.
With the web connecting more people than ever before, shouldn't we be able to have real human connections? But I guess that's the irony of the internet. The more connected we become technologically, the more isolated a lot of us seem to feel in our actual day-to-day lives. And that's kind of sad. I hope that in the future we can still maintain those real person-to-person connections and we don't have to rely on computers to be our partners.
Technology mirrors and magnifies the good, bad, and ugly of everyday life. For me, technology changes communication, of course. But is it for the worse? I'm not convinced at all. It's just different, and people learn how to move across these environments, and I'm confident that they'll figure it out.
I think we have to start thinking about what technology we're going to build next. The internet is changing in all kinds of ways.
There's still a long runway for the internet and the internet community and civil society to realize the potential of the internet as the greatest kind of microphone for the individual ever created.
I see virtual reality becoming a real thing, fully immersive virtual environments, haptic, feedback, like you're there. Like You're in Tokyo, I'm in Miami. We meet in a virtual space that is like the Matrix. I can touch you, I can hang out with you. We can adjust the lighting of the sky. We can cue the music to play. I mean, literally rendered dreamscapes, Inception-like dream worlds that we can inhabit lucidly and navigate around in. I mean, literally, we all gonna move into a cosmos of the imagination.
That type of immersion is going to change things so fast, and it's here. The goggles are here, the bandwidth's here, the resolution's here.
Sergio, let's just do a high five.
Microsoft is developing a system that would make online interaction a lot more personal.
We call this technology holoportation.
With holoportation, people will transmit live holograms of themselves over the internet.
Hi, Bob, I miss you.
Hey, Lilia, I miss you too.
You coming home?
The internet has become the main way we interact with others, real or imaginary, virtual or robotic. In the not-too-distant future, it could also transform how we interact with the dead. It's not hard to imagine that our loved ones who have passed on could be reconstructed by compiling their internet history. All their online activity, their email, photos, Facebook posts.
Most people in the past lived and died with no record of their existence at all, other than their birth date and their death date. In the future, we'll have a library of souls. Now think of what you can do if you have the Connectome. You would have a library of souls, by which you could have an Einstein, a conversation with Winston Churchill. Of course, these figures died in the past, but in the future, the Einsteins and the Winston Churchills, their basic personalities will be preserved, and so you'll have a nice conversation with them.
The future will lead us even deeper into virtual intimacy, capitalizing on giving the user access to all the senses and catapulting us beyond the simple transmission of words and sounds to the sensation of human touch. There's already a virtual reality suit that can deliver a hug.
That's so cool.
And taking things a step further, researchers have reportedly proven that simple thoughts can be sent across the web. One subject in India with a computer sensor attached to his scalp merely thought the words hola and ciao. 5,000 miles away in France, another researcher, also wired up, received the brainwaves and found himself thinking the words hola and ciao. There will come a time when you don't actually have to tell anyone your feelings. They will be able to pluck them right out of your head. And on the horizon, the very essence of connectivity, the creation of a truly global village. Right now, only 40% of the world's population even have access to the web. A look at how many devices are actually connected to the internet, and you see how many of us are still in digital darkness. The barriers to connecting all of us are enormous. Money, language, infrastructure.
We're going to put power on now, okay? All together! Launching in 3, 2, 1.
Come on.
But Facebook's Mark Zuckerberg just recently launched what may be our biggest hope into the horizon, with the test flight of Aquila. Aquila is a solar-powered drone, and once she is launched, she should be able to fly for up to months at a time, blanketing the most remote parts of the world with Wi-Fi.
This is not the final frontier. The mobile device you have will be supplanted by other things, I'm certain. The system will just be on all the time, waiting for us to ask a question or to ask for an action to be taken.
So the way to think about where the internet is going is not what's the future of the internet, but what does the internet mutate into, and what are all the reaction products that go spinning off in different directions. And it's only just started.